Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna work on building my custom heads-up display dash. I got a little computer here that's got the speedometer, I got a fuel gauge, and I got a tachometer. This is part 2 of redoing my gauge clusters. I'm not done with part 1 yet, but you'll see part 1 first. But this is part 2. I'm gonna take this out, and then measure my plate. I think I have to cut 1 inch off my plate and then drill my holes. So let's get right into it. I think the lighting in here is super terrible, but all right, that was easy enough. Now I just gotta take my 4 bolts off here, or I think it's actually just these 2 down here, and that one's already off. I put that in there, and I need a Phillips screwdriver, which I think I left in the house because I was messing with stuff. Here's the daily Childers, or it's a tradition here. He's been a little bit of a bad dog today, but that's all right. He's still handsome. Anyways, just taking this off. It's stuck. All right. Let me get these wires off. I don't think I'll have to cut this. I'm gonna drill my 2 holes, and then if I have to cut it, I will. But the old dash sticks out a little bit, and this isn't really covering any of my ports or like my air holes. So I'll give it a shot. I wonder if you guys can tell that I'm doing this on the fly. I think I'm gonna take this off and see if I can take these old gauges out and then just cut this down and be right in place of it, so I can keep all that, so it's kind of the original look, but it's still got the actual working gauges. Oh, there's bolts on the back to get them out. That's pretty cool. I took the speedometer out, and a whole bunch of this stuff fell out of it, so maybe that's why it quit working. It's actually pretty interesting how these things come apart, because they're just, yeah, I'll show you. They're just these little things. You don't even expect that to be how it comes out. But some of these are different sizes though, which is kind of interesting, because they're just like that one little size difference. And naturally, I don't think I have. There's 3 of them and I can't get out because I'm missing parts on a little cheap TikTok shop toolkit. I wonder if I can take a pair of bicycle cord. Oh, I did. Needle nose in my pocket. Cool. I do. Oh, yeah, this is super easy. Super easy. I'm glad these aren't stupid tight. Alright, so I got all this back off. I really don't think I broke that as much as it already was. So, but my idea here is, I think that this was like the backlight, but like it's all crumbling apart. Like, you know how they got the little light bulbs in them? That's what I think this was supposed to be, but now it's just all, well, I guess only one of them was crumbly, and that's this one. Okay, so I think that's gonna work. I'm just gonna cut down this side, and I think I'll have to cut a little bit off this side, and then I'll take a Dremel right here, and I'll cut these little tabs off, and then I'll cut a little hole back here for one wire, and I probably can run the gas gauge and the tachometer through these two holes right here. So looks like it's going great so far. Got my patented, definitely not gonna cut me up system here. I got this bucket full of bricks because I don't have any friends to hold it, and clamps are overrated. So wish me luck. Getting a little sideways here, so I'm gonna just chip off a little bit on the side and have it come up because there's this little elbow here. It cut me up a little bit. I should probably wear gloves on at least this hand, but I'm fine. Alright, there we go. It fits right in there in both corners. I'll just take a file and file that down. And now I need to cut across this part right here. So, because I think I'll have to do that. I might not have to. I could just keep it like that and then just cut my edges down, but I don't know. I probably will run across that and cut that. Let me see. Let me grab this piece. I just put a couple of screws in the top back here to see if that would work. I think I'll have to cut a little rim around this way, but other than that, I think it'll work if I just take this and I cut it even with this. And it's not gonna look good because I don't know how to make an arch cut with the grinder, so it'll be like, I'll just cut it out to be like a square. So, and then I gotta take the grinder and then cut these edges around here, and then I'll just fit my 3 gauges in here because I have the other 3 well, 2 are already down there. My marker's kind of running out on me, but you get the gist of it. I really cannot say I recommend doing this way. You can't really cut something like this with a grinder. Luckily, I'll just come back with a file, especially on this one, because I miss my mark by a lot, but I got a rough idea about it, so I'm just doing what I can. Definitely don't recommend the bucket and bricks method. You probably need to go find a friend or something. Hi. It is looking a lot better though, and this blue is a little protective thing on there I'm going to take off. I just don't want to scratch it up more. To see, if I didn't have that protective coating thing on there, it would have scratched. Although I think it broke through and scratched it anyways, but alright, now I'm going to just cut across here, come up this way, and then come this way. Well, I ended up breaking a couple pieces off this top here. That shouldn't be a big deal if I just put a little bit of Bondo or something over it, but I got a little bit of filing, that's the word, and then I'll just put it back together, and then I'll be able to, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this over here like that, and then I'll mark out where my gauges go, and then I'll just mark it through here. So going along pretty good so far. I got a pretty big mess, but overall, would I recommend doing this? Probably if you had the right tools. I don't. If I were to do it right, I'd do it with a jigsaw and or a Dremel. A Dremel would work out really well. I don't think I'd recommend doing it with a grinder and then when I do the drill for the holes. Alright, so I got this test fitted. I'm gonna have to cut one more little notch, or 2 little notches, so I can actually put the dash back on by those 2 bottom screws. Then after that, I'm gonna put that cover back on and put it in the truck just to see if it fits before I start cutting out holes and stuff like that. Alright, those cuts are done. Not worried about how they look because they'll be hidden behind this thing. Alright guys, the dash is in. I do think I'll just cut along this and then come up and then just cut all this off because I don't know, it's just not, I'm not a very straight cutter, but just to show you, all that works, the key works. Yep. So all right, it's the next day. Went ahead and got this all put together just because I didn't think you guys would want to see me struggling with it, and my dad came out and helped me cut this piece out with a jigsaw that had a wooden blade on it, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna put my 2 screws in here. I got a whole bunch of wire and yeah, deal with all this mess. It looks really cool though. I'll pull up a little picture real quick. What I'm doing right now is I'm just making some pigtails and coming off these wires just so I have a whole lot of extra wire to go behind the dash, and then I can just reach underneath the dash and do my wiring instead of having to be up all in the dash to get my wires up here. I have wiring diagrams for all this stuff, so I really don't think it should be that bad. I might just be over exaggerating a little bit, but I don't think being an electrician is in my category for like one of my jobs, because I'm just not good at this. So I know it's pretty simple. I don't know. We're getting it done though. One thing I'm going to change is on my tachometer wire. I'm going to wire the red and the yellow together because the red is the light in here. And if I didn't have the light wired, then it would just look like that. So I'm just going to wire those 2 things together. So when you turn the key, the light comes on. And then I don't have to do the same thing for this because you can clearly see it. I just wire, I believe it's either the red wire or the orange wire. That goes to your lights, and then I just wire it all to my little pull-out switch. See, it's weird having the right wires because you can color coordinate them like you're supposed to, which is a really rarity for me. So I am having an amazing time actually doing something right for once. All right, so I got the pigtails on every single one of these. So I got the red wire with this yellow wire, and they'll all go to the same place. I just put them together. I just wanted to make basically the artificial gauge bigger. I don't know if this will make a difference or not, but just better be safe than sorry, I guess. You know, you don't want to catch your truck on fire for the 3rd or 4th time. Let me reiterate here. All those burnt wires. I think that's actually the reason why the old gauges quit working. Also, chili dog again. I'm gonna do the same thing for these wires, and then I'm gonna tape them up. All right, I went with the blue electrical tape here. Definitely not painter's tape. And I have this blue wire here, but I didn't have any blue at all over there. So blue equals white with this little blue strip on it. So now that I got my pigtails all tied up, honestly, it is pretty secure for being blue electrical tape. I'm gonna put this together, and I'll meet with you in the truck. All right, so I got all the wires ran through here, got that all bolted up. This looks like a mess. Let me go get the diagrams and get right into it. All right, let's start off with the tachometer, and the first one I'm gonna hook up is the black wire, which is right here, and I'm gonna hook it to a ground, which can be anywhere on the body. But I think there's a ground wire, if it's still here. Oh, it might not still be there. Oopsies. I can find a ground somewhere. It's literally like everywhere. I grounded that if I wanted to. But I don't think I will. There used to be one. I guess I took it off. Huh. I'll just put it up there. Alright, so I just put my ground, I took this bolt off and I just ran it through it and I sanded the back side of it down. I had the foresight to look at this diagram for the fuel gauge, and that's what our blue wire went to. A blue wire, which aka our gray wire, is ground wire. So we got ground. Now we go back over here to the tacho meter and we'll run our yellow and red to the same place, and then our green goes to our signal wire, which looks like it'll attach to the negative part of the coil. So let's figure that out. Let's turn our key here. All right, that's working. Turn it. Oh, gear stuck. Went away. Turn it back on. Makes a weird noise. Goes all the way up, all the way down. Sweet. Now I gotta wire the green tachometer wire down there, and that's all good. I wonder if it's safe to assume that the green wire on the coil is the wire I need, because it just goes into these connectors. My wire's right here. I wonder if I just put it right there, like splice into that, if it'll work. In theory it should, unless there's some random hidden purple wire somewhere. I'm gonna unhook that positive cable just to be safe, and I guess cut into it. I'm gonna cut right here, just around this. There's two green wires. Okay, I'm gonna cut up here because I know this was the coil wire. Well, I put power to it. It didn't kill me. Oh. Alright, let's see. Hey, it works! Kinda. Great. Now moving on to the hard part, we got this gas gauge. And I don't even know if it's going to work right, because I don't know if it's right on it or not. I tried my best, but I got like a million different answers. So I'm going to sit here and look at this here. It looks like we got a 9 to 32 VDC, whatever that means. I already got the ground hooked up, and the orange is just a light. So I just grabbed the orange and put it into this thing. Oh, that's funny. So I'll track that down. So the blue and the orange is already figured out. I gotta figure out what the black is, and I'm assuming the red is just gonna go to like a positive on a. Yeah, just like a positive. I just have to see if, because I don't know if I can put 12 volts to it or not. I guess I can read this diagram. Looks like I just put the red to a key switch. I have to go track down my fuel sender wire, which is under there. I'll probably just take off a board or something. And I'm guessing that that's going to be the signal input, because that makes sense to me. Alright, I got my board off here. You can clearly see right there. Gotta cut in one of those wires. Alright, so I got my little signal wire hooked up to the blue and white wire. and it's running underneath the truck in here. And then I turn the key, it goes all the way up, all the way down, and then it goes all the way up to 1/4 of a tank. And the old gas gauge read about 1/4 of a tank when I shut it off. So that is accurate to my knowledge. And then the RPM gauge is still on. You can barely see it because it's a bad color, but I might have to change that. But now I just gotta wire up that, and I think I'll have to just cut this off and then run a ground into a positive, because I don't have a USB port unless the one on the radio works. Let's see here. Let's plug that in. Oh, okay. Well, that's fixed. I just gotta hide that wire and then tuck up some of these wires up over here, and then hook up my these wire, or the light wires on that gauge, on those 3 gauges. There's one behind here, and we're good to go. I'm surprised and happy that it went off this easy. I just gotta tape this wire up back here, and then let's see, is it hanging down? Yeah, it's hanging down a little bit. So I'll tape up that wire, and I think we'll be good to go. Now that all the gauges work, I can put this stuff away over here, and then I'll go ahead and put that little cover back on. All right, here's the final product. This thing changes a whole bunch of different colors, so I might cut out a little hole so I can click that button there to make it change colors. I'll be sure to get a night shot for you guys real quick.